Hey, what's up guys, it's Jakeem the Nerdy Python coming at you with more Game of Thrones talk. And today we're going to be talking Season 8, Episode 5 titled The Bells. So in my review for the last episode, I said that Dany would return to Kingslanding and pretty much just rain down hell on Cersei, and man, she does it here. Just so much carnage and destruction and fucking mayhem that, you know, it's just so much to talk about. So at the start of this episode, Varys is seen writing letters to unknown recipients, informing them of Jon and Dany's secret with the girl from the kitchens working as his spy. And I'm going to go ahead and assume that he's also trying to poison Dany, given that the girl informs him that, you know, that the queen isn't eating and pretty much that the guards are on the lookout. So right off the bat, we already have a return to the cutthroatness of the show with all the lies and betrayal that we saw in the earlier seasons. Varys then finds Jon once the troops return home and tries to encourage him that he's the one that should be on the throne, but Jon still refuses and is still pretty much loyal to Dany at this point. Tyrion then visits Dany in her keep to inform her of Varys' betrayal, where she reveals her knowledge that Tyrion also has betrayed her, given that he was the one that told Varys. And at this point, I feel like Tyrion may be a bit of a hypocrite, but not 100%, because, you know, at the end of the day, he was still pretty much on Dany's side, and I guess he really didn't see, you know, the fault in what he was doing. Grey Worm escorts Varys to this cavern where all the generals, including Jon and Tyrion, are waiting for a sentence of execution. And when Dany starts to speak and we see the dragon's head, you know, raise up from behind her out of the shadows, we already know that it's over for Varys, man. And it's like, he turns over to Tyrion and says, you know, I hope that I'm wrong and I hope I deserve this, before ultimately just being scorched in the flames. And it was just kind of surprising that he went out that way, because for the longest, he's been one of the most untouchable characters on the show. Afterwards, Jon and Dany speak, and she admits that she pretty much has no love in Westeros and that Jon has the most influence. And, you know, she tries kissing him, hoping that it'll lead to sex, you know, which is pretty much her way of controlling him. And, you know, he refuses, and, you know, her response to that was, all right, then. And I'm just like, damn, you know, what a way to pretty much reject her and add fuel to the flame. In the last chance effort to save King's Landing from being destroyed, Tyrion tries to talk Dany out of burning the city down by stating that, you know, once they see Cersei defeated, that the citizens will all yield. Of course, she ignores him, stating that, you know, she knows about Jaime's escape, and that, you know, if Tyrion fails her again, that it'll also be his last. The siege on King's Landing begins as Dany burns down all the Iron Fleet ships, failing to kill Euron Greyjoy in the process. She then soars over the mainland, scorching all the enemy's archers and sky support before taking out the wall, which in turn signaled Jon and the others to just storm into the city and just completely obliterate the Golden Company's army. Jaime, having been freed by Tyrion, also arrives in the city to save Cersei, while Arya and Sandor arrive to kill her and Gregor. The chaos briefly ends with the bells sounding and the doors opening, while the forces confronted by Jon and Grey Worm surrender, laying down their weapons. Dany, on top of Jacaerys, and I hope that's the dragon's name, sizes up the enemy, you know, noticeably troubled by her decision to either continue the onslaught or to go after Cersei personally. And at that moment, you know, you can kind of see the emotional toll that the decision's having on her, as she's pretty much brought to tears. She continues the onslaught, with Grey Worm following her lead by picking up a spear and just chucking it at an unarmed soldier. And from that moment on, it was just complete mayhem and, you know, just full sail destruction. His innocents are being killed and everything around him is just being burnt to cinders. We cut to Cersei in the Red Keep about 3 times as she watches the city burn, and her advisor tries to snap her to reality, acknowledging their defeat before they finally do leave. And when they finally do escape, 2 badass things happen. They run into Sandor, who confronts Ser Gregor, and down by the shore, Jaime encounters Euron for an epic face-off. Arya, after leaving Sandor's side, also tries to flee the city as citizens are slaughtered and, you know, the city's walls are just being crumbled, and it's just like, oh, the humanity. Jaime kills Euron as Ser Gregor and Sandor fall to their death, and he finally reaches Cersei. And I'm not even gonna lie, guys, at that moment, I felt kind of sad, as, you know, we get this very tragic type of Romeo and Juliet ending, which I know is sick, but, you know, it's just been so long in the making, as, you know, the two of them finally die together. And just like that, the HBIC is no more. The episode pretty much ends with Arya surviving the onslaught and just witnessing the devastation all around her. She then spots a single white horse just ahead of her and rides off before the screen fades and the credits roll out. And I actually found this quite symbolic, as if, you know, she was pretty much just destined to live out through these events. At the end of the day, I knew I wanted Cersei to pay for everything that she's done, but honestly, I did not expect Dany to just ruthlessly, you know, destroy this entire city and kill all these innocent people. And I was just like, damn, like, it was like a whole new low for her as a character. The way these events went down and seeing Jon's obvious confliction and disapproval hint at an even bigger showdown for the finale that I just can't wait to see. So leave your comments down below. Have you seen Game of Thrones Season 8, Episode 5? What did you think? What's your prediction for the finale? I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and make sure you tap that bell for notifications. There's also links to my social media posted down in the description below. And as always, Nerdy Python is out of here.